Hey people, today I'll be talking about a new game, for once, BPM or bullets per minute, a weird hybrid between a rhythm game and an FPS. But does that mix actually work? The premise is you are an angel and you have to kill demons or bugs or whoever the game wants you to kill. You can kill a miniature kraken for fuck's sake. You descend from Asgard to my favorite sequel, Helheim 2, and it's a roguelike, meaning that every place is randomly generated and places don't look great. And beyond that, the game doesn't have much, except for the selling point. The rhythm game aspect is either great, making you need a CPM counter, or it's bad. It's bad when you first start playing. You need to realize that if BPM was a question, the answer will be 120. So you need to press the first button correctly, and the rest you can just do by nature. But when you first start playing, you just can't do it right. Everything just feels wrong. But when learned, it can make for a lot of good moments. The game's a roguelike, as I said earlier, and doesn't really do that very well. The thing that makes roguelikes good is the replayability. So a game like Enter the Gungeon has a billion weapons and god knows how many items, while here, there are some weapons and items that range from game changing to what the hell does this even do. I just feel like games could have used a normal pre-made structure, rather than this, because of many reasons. The randomly generated maps include some stuff if you believe it. There are normal rooms with some enemies, bank rooms which is a good idea if you know you're going to lose, treasure rooms with like one box, stores that play this nice music, weapon rooms with weapons, and my favorite, combat challenge rooms, which are so fun and dandy I stopped going to them after my 4th attempt. And every area has a boss room. Bosses are a joke in this game. They go with a weird pattern. The first boss is a bit hard. The second is the most difficult in the game. He has an attack that obliterates you and makes the game go like Julian, because the frame rate chugs really hard. And bosses after that are a bunch of posers. The thing about bosses is that you shouldn't put them in a game like this, because you'll never have a great boss this way. You'll either make a bunch of dickheads or a bunch of posers. For small games, it's better to have one boss and make it grand. Here, the final boss is a joke. It's a bunch of bosses given as mini bosses and then a dragon. Which is like, why? What is about Norse mythology and shit that needs a final boss that is a dragon that spews fire? It just doesn't make any sense. The enemies are many and don't really have a theme. Most games have themes or things that are somewhat connected to each other. Here it's like fight bats and spiders and rock monsters and then skeleton man and a vicar type dude. It feels like a clusterfuck. It feels oddly asset flippy, which makes sense because the game is made by like a few dudes and with their dogs. While on the other hand, the damage output doesn't make sense either. So the bat enemy does 25 damage per shot. And for scale, most characters have around 75, and the first character has 100. Although you don't get hit much by them if you move your ass. Most hits that land on you will happen in these sort of runs. You see how many enemies are here? That's why most of your money will probably go into healing items. The game has a bunch of weapons, revolvers and pistols and machine guns and so on and so on and so forth. They all have a different way of going with the beat. Some weapons need a button press to cock the gun like the shotgun, some need just a press for every bullet, and others need a press every 2 beats. They go pretty well with the beat. Some of them are a lot more powerful than others. The best one in my opinion was this thing. It blows things up, that's all you need to know really. The machine gun was weird, it does have rapid fire. But the moment you go to rapid fire you should kiss seeing goodbye. And for that you need to blame the way the game looks. Characters are a thing in the game and they're not very special. They have a starting weapon and some have a special thing, like this dude who shoots with his hands. Pretty cool, huh? Their health changes depending on the character. The last one doesn't even have health. When you finish a playthrough you'll unlock an ability or an ultimate depending on the difficulty. It's a good extra. Abilities and ultimates are not that good though. They don't feel good enough to care about them. I viewed abilities as pretty much useless, either being way less powerful than guns or just inconvenient to use. Ultimates vary between why is this even here to I just got into a room and killed everyone by pressing a button. Same as many things in the game, they're horribly imbalanced. They can either make a playthrough 5 times easier or have no effect on gameplay whatsoever. The game looks very sharp, too sharp. It's just bad, like real bad. The enemies sometimes mix with the background in some of the later levels, and sometimes the gun effects get mixed with everything. I think it's done to cover a lot of the imperfections of the game when it comes to looks, but to a degree it makes it worse. The reloading is possibly the weirdest aspect of the gameplay. Since everything needs to be on beat, the reloads need that as well. So while in combat you need to press reload more than once to the beat, which would make it hard, or sometimes even impossible, to press R while moving right. This can be solved by mapping the button to something else, but it's kinda annoying. But at the same time, when you do get infinite ammo, the music becomes just a slew of shots with no reloads to mix things up. Which brings me to the best part of the game, the music. It's very rock heavy, and I really like that. It most importantly goes with the beat of the guns and such. I would even say that the music is on a whole other level in comparison to the rest of the game. So this concludes the review. BPM is a fine game. It's not necessarily great or anything, but for a game that was made by a few guys, this is pretty good. I would say to wait for a bigger discount, and even if you completely skip it you won't miss much. Your love for the game will depend on how many times you can replay it. I replayed it for many times, 4 playthroughs on normal and 2 on hard. So if you like roguelikes and sick music, this game might be for you. Like and whatever, no one watches these videos to the end anyways, so I'll just blow a raspberry.